Hello, beautiful people, and happy new year. Happy calendar new year of 2026. Welcome to Oracle Talks, our first Oracle Talks for the calendar year. I hope that everyone has had a wonderful restorative winter slash holiday break. I know I have, has definitely much been needed, but it's still winter season. So very much going to be in alignment with, winter for the Northern Hemisphere, but very much going to be in alignment, remaining in alignment with the season and what my body needs. Support for the emotions, support for the mind, support for the spirit, all those things as it relates to this beautiful environment in which we are in right now. I'm joining you from Southern California. It is sunny now, finally, after lots of rain. So I'm so grateful for the sun. Speaking of the sun, we have officially started the 21 days of Surya Namaskar and Creativity Journey. So, for those of you who are participating in this journey, we are now on our second day and just getting into the creative play aspect of the journey. So, I'm looking forward to the remaining days in this journey. I hope you all are as well too. It's been great to get the feedback, and I hope that you are seeing the benefits already from engaging in the asana practice, as well as the mantras and the creative play aspect. So, yeah, that is what is going on. Since it is, of course, a new year, I do have two options available for receiving guidance. So, the first is the 2026 Spiritual New Year channeling event that I did, which is linked below, as well as the 2026 Astrology Planning Workshop. So the spiritual New Year channeling is the tarot messages, oracle guidance messages, ancestor messages, all that stuff coming in. The astrology planning workshop is strictly just astrology, and it's for personal considerations as well as business. So I am talking to both everybody as well as providing insight for entrepreneurs. So I highly recommend both. But if you're trying to decide which one to engage with, that's how you know the difference. So the links for both are posted below. So check those out. For the spiritual new year, we are actually officially a quarter in. We're officially in quarter two right now of the spiritual new year because that started um, in September for the autumn equinox. I was just reviewing a little bit of that, and it's like literally the things that I was talking about that I was channeling have come through and have come true. So, yeah, I highly recommend if you already have the recording, like you attended or you bought the recording afterwards, go back and review, check it out, see where we are, and revisit that and look at the months ahead to orient yourself and kind of be prepared for what is there. But we're going to keep it short and sweet in quotes for today. So I just want to get a simple message today from Spirit about what we need to be paying attention to, what the focus needs to be for right now as we kick off the calendar year. I'm saying specifically calendar year because there are so many points in the process where we have kind of these new beginnings. So I already mentioned the spiritual new year, autumn equinox. We have the calendar year. For other religious faiths, they have other new years that are starting, I think, around this time right now. And then we have the lunar new year coming up in February. So there's all different types of new year. So for the calendar new year, the top of this, let's get the guidance for us today. So first, we'll settle in. You can close your eyes, sit up nice and straight, and bring your attention to your breath. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. And intend with every inhalation and exhalation that your body is being brought into balance and alignment with your higher self, your soul, your inner divinity. that which is not bound by time and space, that which is ever present through your various incarnations, that divine intelligence, that divine soul. And as you continue to inhale and exhale, hold the intention or even speak aloud to bring your emotional self, your emotional body, your emotional state into a place of equanimity and alignment with your higher self. And with every inhalation and exhalation, also holding the intention or even speaking aloud, the alignment and the balancing and the focus of your mind, your mental body with your higher self. Directing your mind to be a perfect reflector of your inner light, your inner sun, and a tool for that inner divinity. Expanding your awareness, expanding your energy body with your intention, opening up all of your energy centers along your spine, as well as all of the meridians within your body, along your nervous system, your circulatory system, your bones, everywhere in the body. Opening up, activating, fully embracing and expressing light. And feel that permeating through all of your being. And holding large orbs of light within your head, within your heart, the center of your chest, and within your abdomen. And hold these orbs of light, which is your own light, in your mind's eye with your conscious awareness throughout the time of these messages. I call in the power and the presence of the spirits of the elements, the spirits of the directions, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Gabriel, as well as our collective elevated beneficial ancestors, ascended masters, healers, teachers, and guides, and protectors. Hold a sacred space of protection around each of us individually, protecting us specifically from those things which would distract our attention and focus on our true nature, as well as quell any internal disturbances that would seek to pull our attention away from our true nature. Our ability to turn within and look at true reality is a gift, and we do not take it for granted. This precious intimacy, this precious connection has no barrier, has no intermediary. It is as close as our breath. And it is this undying spirit, this undying essence, which lives us, breathes us, thinks us in every single moment. And so we give thanks. All righty. Real quick, I actually forgot to mention that the January 2026 astrology report is up on the blog. This is a very busy month astrologically. This week in particular is very busy with Venus and Mars specifically. So I highly, highly, highly recommend checking that out, reading up on that. Of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome to book a session with me. Speaking of booking of sessions, I am officially back. Books are open. I didn't make a formal announcement last week, but for those who already were on the know, they already got in. But the books are open. I update every weekend, so check on Sunday for the week ahead of my availability if you're interested in a session. I have adjusted the available sessions just a bit, but hopefully it's much more clear and easier to understand what is going to be best for you depending on your situation. But that information is also going to be and is always in the description below, or you can just go directly to the website and go to services tab. If you have not already, please do subscribe to my newsletter. The link is also in the description below underneath my signature. I'm thinking there might be a shift in structure for the blog writing. It may be just strictly newsletter focused. So I'm still sitting with that and seeing what I want to do, but to stay informed, definitely stay connected to the newsletter, please and thank you. And speaking of subscriptions, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. Still trying to get to 1,000 followers. Listen, we gonna do it. I want to get more than that, obviously, but first milestone. Because I know there's at least that amount of people who do watch. So please subscribe if you already haven't subscribed. All righty. So as you sit with the divine team who is here with us now, ask them to relay messages, make sure messages come through that speak to your situation and provide you with the insight, courage, knowledge, or even just information that you need. So I'm going to ask a particular archangel to step forward and be the point person for the messages to come through. And we'll be going with Michael. All right, so let's get these cards out. Mhm. One sec. Alrighty. So I am using my dragon deck. I'm going to show you the four main cards. I have expanded the spread, but we'll start here first. So we have Seven of Cups, Queen of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, and then Three of Wands. So the Seven of Cups specifically is that which is arising for us to pay attention to. And it's within the environment of this card, the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups in general can talk about, well, obviously it comes right after the seven. It's going after the last two cups. It's wanting to get ultimate fulfillment, ultimate reality, which on one level can denote that the first Seven of Cups is not giving you everything that you are wanting or looking for. Or like you realize that like whatever was involved with the obtaining of the Seven of Cups still isn't scratching that itch, if you will. So in that regard, it's like okay, yeah, I'm glad I got to this point, but this actually isn't it. There's something more that I want, so I'm leaving this behind or being less um, attached to it because you don't have to leave it behind. You can just be detached and move on to pursue what really is scratching the itch. The other side of this is that like, oh, okay, I've gotten to the Seven of Cups, um, and I see now that there is more, and I'm encouraged to actually go after more. So it's a motivating factor for um, more cups along the same kind of vein, right? Now we're showing up specifically as the King of Pentacles in this regard. So this is about very much our living in this world. So very much practical considerations. Now, on its own, the Seven of Cups will talk about like, okay, I have all these different options of things that I can go after and pursue. Which one do I want? So this can be on the positive side, like broadening your horizons and choosing to engage with something that is going to enhance what you have, right? Um, there can be an element of risk, especially if you're not attached. You can just be like, well, let me just try something. The other side of things, you could also be creating the idea or an illusion that considering other options is what you're supposed to be doing right now, rather than staying focused on that which is the only option and has only been the only option, right? So our action to take in this regard is the Queen of Swords. So that is objectivity. Obviously, these two cards, the Eight and Seven of Cups, are related to the emotions and the feelings and all that kind of stuff. But it denotes a lack of an ability to see things clearly or even to feel things clearly. Um, so this is more cups in terms of for the energy of these more on the side of emotion rather than intuition, which is a very different thing. So the emotions are always going to be up and down all over the place like waves, and they are not the things to make decisions on. With this Queen of Swords here, this objectivity, but also this higher mind, this divine consciousness, the intuition, because this is watery air. This is the feeling or the intuition, which is not emotion, that's really underneath the thing. This is actually going to help you cut through and get clear about what the choice is, regardless of, whatever the context is for you based off of the previous scenarios I gave. But that Queen of Swords is like, um, the directive from spirit is to be like, hey, check in and understand that if you are in a state of emotional movement. I'm trying to use neutral words because often, like, some of the words related to emotionality, like, automatically skew our mindset to negative. Um, but it's just any heightened emotional state can be a thing that actually clouds judgment or makes it difficult to feel or sense or know, from that intuitive sense. Okay, so this is what has to be listened to and cultivated, is the intuition, not the emotion, as we deal with whatever the Seven of Cups is. And we have the power to do so with the Three of Wands. Like, our intuition is strong. We just have to listen to it, because if this is something that's coming up, it means that, well, on the one hand, a situation could arise where we're like, oh, we have to consider this and decide if we're going to engage in the Seven of Cups ritual, right? Or ritual meaning like this back and forth of, what do I choose, what don't I choose, etc. But we also, if this is showing up too, this can also mean that we have been operating in this state of not having clarity about what to do. Because there's, all the options. We can do many things, but the taking of action has not occurred based on this. Actually, that's not true. Hold on. It's not true about the lack of taking action, because this Five of Wands is here in the past, the recent past. So this can mean either there's been some obstacles or conflicts in the pursuit of whatever it is that you've been trying to pursue, and that has actually, regardless of what the obstacles are, because it could be, societal stuff, or your own interpersonal things, but just obstacles, hardships, etc., that have come up and have wounded your belief in yourself, or the belief in what it is that you want or you're trying to manifest, to the point where you're now second guessing yourself and thinking about all these other options. Whereas the thing that you were to do, the thing that you have been engaged in, or what have you, it actually has never changed. You actually just have to get back to a state of courage, right? Because with the Ace of Pentacles, this is a deeper past. Like, there is clarity. There is clarity, but there was difficulty on the way once we decided to kind of go after this, which has put us in the Seven of Cups state. But whatever this is that we have clarity on with the Ace of Cups is divinely given from our own soul, with the Hierophant there. This doesn't mean lack of Five of Swords experiences. So these considerations are more so a matter of You deciding if you want to get in the fight again, if this is what's playing out in the subconscious. But ultimately, I think you will do fine because spirit is speaking to you clearly with the Ace of Swords. So as long as you maintain your side of the communication, then conversation can happen because spirit, our soul, excuse me, is always talking. But also, the area we're strong in is a star card here, which represents both hope, dreams, goals, visions, etc., hope, and healing. So you do know how to heal from the battle that you've come out of, regardless of what it has been. And you also do have clarity about what the hope is and the desire for it. So both are true. Depending on where you are, whatever's going on, you'll draw upon a particular aspect of this as much as possible to help get you motivated to take action, right? So if it's more so like getting clarity again about the what specifically you're going after because you just got so sidetracked and off course mentally because of the struggle, then that's more where you need to lean your star card energy, right? If it's more that this Five of Wands experience or experiences, because it definitely doesn't have to be one thing, because definitely the last 5 years have been a lot. But maybe this actually has had a bigger toll on you than you realize, and you do have to do like more healing to reorient yourself back into a receptive place that even can believe in something new and possible and better before we even get to the what that is, right? So, depending on where you are specifically, you engage with that energy. Um, the thing with this King of Pentacles, astrologically, this would be Taurus traditionally, but in general, regardless of whether or not you vibe with that or not, this is a very set in its ways kind of vibe because it's the king. It's a four energy. If it was a queen, this would be a little bit easier to maneuver, but this is telling me that this whatever aspect of this work that you're doing is not necessarily going to be easy. Not because it's being made to be hard. Is just because whatever state you've gotten yourself into has calcified. Like if you've ever tried to get a Taurus to do something that they're not in the mood or ready to do, you already know. Or just an earth sign in general. Like getting them to move or do something that they are not wanting to, they're not convinced about, or they're not ready to do is like next to impossible. Like how do you move a mountain? How do you move a bull that does not want to move? How do you do that? Right? So that's going to depend again on uh, whatever's going on for you and what's coming up for you. But again, for clarity, the Queen of Swords is the key. Intuition, the higher mind, objectivity is the key. So in your emotions, you may be thinking like, oh, it's probably this thing over here. It may or may not be. It may be both, it may be the other. Right? But check in. with yourself. But again, this difference between emotion and intuition needs to be made clear. And if you are feeling like you have a hard time hearing or listening to your intuition, is an indication that, for me anyway, that there needs to be healing. Now, that healing can be either a healing of the mind, clarity of what it is that you're going after, right? And reacquainting yourself with that, or healing of the wounded self that just came out of a hard battle. Now, if it really is just healing of the mind, one of the things that you'll notice is as you regain clarity about what the hope is, right? The If there are any emotional perturbations, those kind of calm down. But more importantly, because this is mental healing, not the emotional healing, what really happens is you're able to take action immediately. It's just like, oh, and you just you go, right? Same thing with the other. Like if whichever it is for you, the shift to action happens instantly once there's clarity. Like you don't actually have to go through this whole process. And that's kind of what the King of Pentacles can assume is the case, which is one of the reasons why it can get so calcified because it's just like, oh, I just don't want to deal with it. Let me just like hunker down. But it's like things can actually move and transmute so much more quickly, especially since you have the Ace of Swords here in the spirit. Spirit saying this can actually shift really quickly so that you get to a state of taking action. And the environment is there and is supportive for you, we, us to move on to what's next. So this isn't a situation where it's like, oh, we're being told to wait or what have you. Like the environment is actually ready to move on. Where we're in a conducive, energetic environment as well as literal physical environment where it's like, okay, we're ready to move on now. The purpose, the path has not changed. The tweaking of tactics maybe adjusted. Possibly. But yeah, here in the center, we have the Princess of Pentacles. This is the heart of the matter. Yeah, this card actually literally is about our desires, what we want, what we treasure, right? That's what's here. Okay. So, let me pull a card for closing guidance for us from the Threads of Fate deck. I haven't pulled from that in a very long time, so let's see. Okay, so this is a Threads of Fate deck. Look who came out. The Strength card. I love it. I believe this is a water card. Maybe not. Might be a fire card. I was thinking water because there's a orca on there. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's none of those. It's an earth card. Okay. So this card indicates a time where you need to tap into your reserve of strength and resilience. There may be things coming up in your life right now that require your courage and the willingness to be uncomfortable. Our ability to adjust to any transition, loss, or change will depend on our patience in riding out the storm. Sometimes we have to do this without a map. Whatever's coming up for you right now, understand that it will pass, and you just need to believe that you can move through it. I'm going to read this again because this card indicates a time where you need to tap into your reserve of strength and resilience. There may be things coming up in your life right now that require your courage and the willingness to be uncomfortable. Our ability to adjust to any transition, loss, or change will depend on our patience in riding out the storm. Sometimes we have to do this without a map. Whatever is coming up for you right now, understand that it will pass, and you just need to believe that you can move through it. Okay. So with this deck, it provides an animal, plant, and crystal ally to support. So the animal here is the orca. The orca is also known as the killer whale for its hunting ferocity, but it is simultaneously thought of as a gentle giant. And for us now as petty. They live in the same pod for their entire life, and they rely on one another to hunt and protect the pod. In this way, Orca shows us that we are not alone. It encourages you to hold counsel and call on community as you navigate the rough waters. And I would say this is both physical and spirit. But again, depending on where you are, you might have to lean into one or the other. All right, the plants. I don't think it has a plant representation here. Oh, it's on the side. So it says sycamore tree. The sycamore is one of the oldest species of trees on this earth. So this is an ancient. The name sycamore comes from the fact that the tree looks sickly. The old layers of the bark tears and peels away, making way for the inner bark. This results in a collage of different hues of brown, green, and white. It is a reminder that while we may be going through trials and do not feel strong, we are growing through our determination to endure. Call upon Sycamore as a guide in getting in touch with your strength when you feel uncertain and shaky. Allow yourself to simultaneously hold your strength and your vulnerability. And then the crystal ally is labradorite. Labradorite is a stone that can open up our psychic and intuitive abilities while also strengthening our will and protecting our personal energies. It is helpful when we are working through challenges and need to protect ourselves from getting drained, or, this is important for that Seven of Cups message, taking on things that are not ours. It is also a teacher of paradox. When we feel the weakest, it is a reminder that at the opposite end of the spectrum is our power. While it may feel like polar opposites, they exist on the same continuum and you can transit between them. Use labradorite as a teacher of self preservation and to help you see the strengths in your perceived weaknesses. But the part I like about this in particular is the fact that it strengthens the will and protects your personal energies. Now, there wasn't specifically well, I was about to say there wasn't a card specifically about will in that set, but I think that actually would be the King of Pentacles. But like I said, the energy around that was more on the negative side, so like something that had kind of calcified and wasn't allowing for growth and progression. Um, Whereas, having a healthy will is one that is strong but bendable, like bamboo, right? Able to adapt and bend to the circumstances. But anyway, yeah, those are the messages as we step into this new calendar year. And what that says to me is that the last quarter of 2025 was actually quite busy. There was a lot of kind of recalibrating, a lot of um, excuse me, getting back on our feet and coming back into a clearer sense of self. And there's this energy now of like, okay, kind of looking at for lack of a better word right now, looking at the wreckage that that was left, and okay, seeing and deciding, all right, where do we go from here? Where do I go from here? What is next? That's Seven of Cups, right? But where you go from here, what's next is what has always been what's next. Um, Chaos, transition, change in the short term, even if those short terms are a few years, does not mean um, that the desire, the goal, etc., has changed. It just means that it was delayed or paused due to circumstances, right? That had to be dealt with again, whether personal or societal, because we don't live in isolation. We very much have to create within a world of others. And we give thanks for that because we wouldn't be able to experience ourselves and to create things without others who are also divinity, even if they're not behaving in a loving or divine way. Um, yeah, so I hope that encourages you and provides some insight. I would recommend, especially with, again, this busy astrological time, especially this week, like I said, um, to specifically set aside some time for that Queen of Swords work to get clear about the star energy, about the hope and the healing, and see where you can take action. Um, and not doing this work to rush to take action, because the goal should be to take action that is aligned and in timing, and that's not ever rushed. Even if you feel like you are procrastinating, like you're not actually procrastinating, but the Seven of Cups might be louder, the emotions might be louder than the Queen of Swords, the intuition, the higher mind, the objectivity. So prioritize that. Get quiet. Get off the social media, turn off the TV, turn off the music, and just sit with yourself, journal, talk out loud, talk with a friend, Talk with your ancestors, talk with groups of friends, talk with your, counselor, your coach, but sit with it and figure it out. Because again, the Eight of Cups is the environment. It is supporting the moving out of whatever the stuck energy has been, this calcified energy has been, to action, to this fire year, this fire horse year, the sun year in the numerology. And if you are aligned, then it should feel peaceful and simply a return to, again, what has already been laid out for you. So, again, if you're one of those folks who are dealing with that Seven of Cups, if you're not doing the Seven of Cups, then it's not going to be for you. Um, yeah, I'll leave it at that. All right, have a wonderful day. And like I said, subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to this channel, check out the 2026 Spiritual New Year and the astrology planning workshops that are below. And depending on when you see this, check on Sunday for the availability for sessions for the week ahead, for the available services that are up on the website. Again, all information is below. If you have questions, just drop me a note on the contact page of my website, and I will definitely follow up and help bring clarity. But yeah, I'm glad to have made it here with y'all. Here's to a better new year, even in the midst of the chaos, depending on where you are in the world. But here's to a better, well, everybody's experiencing some level of chaos, like, because again, we don't exist in isolation. We're all in relationship. But I do hope for a better year for everybody. Um, and better meaning more healing, more alignment with a higher dharmic spiritual path, and deeper intimacy with spirit. All right. Love and blessings. And God willing, I'll see you soon. Bye.